so you probably clicked on this video because if you're like me, you need help with these little ones. They are just a lot. We love them, but they're a lot. And hair day is not always our favorite day. Neither is it for them either. So hopefully this video will give you a few tips and tricks on how to get those 2-3 week old cornrows taken out, smooth, seamless, tear-free, fingers crossed. So if this sounds like something you need help with, keep on tuning in and I'm gonna try to help you out best I can. All right, let's go ahead and hop into these tips. Okay, so for tip number 1, I don't know about y'all, I've seen this, hopefully you don't do this, but if you do, stop, okay? Just stop. Do not start in the middle of the braid. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you're starting from the tip. I know this sounds like, just something that's understood, but I have seen people try to just start just to go ahead and get a head start and hopefully it'll unravel. Nah, you're just gonna cause a bigger mess. It's gonna knot up, it's gonna tangle, baby's gonna be upset. It just doesn't go well for anybody. So make sure you're always starting at the tip of the cornrow and working your way down to unravel the braid. It'll make life so much easier. So just take your time doing that, starting at the tip and working your way up. Tip number 2. So make sure that you are using either your comb or your fingers. And when you're doing it, make sure, like I said, you're starting from the very tip, but don't ever force the comb to take the braid out. Now, I know every kid's texture is different. If you're like me, you have a mixed baby and their hair is a different texture. Sometimes it's easier to take it out the tip. If the hair is a little bit more coarse, it might be a little bit more challenging. So never force that comb through. Always start at the very tip and just work either the comb or the tip of your fingers right through that braid. So once again, our whole goal is to release tension on the baby's scalp, because that's where all the tears come from. That's where the headache comes from. So we want to ease that up as much as possible, ease that tension. So make sure you are not forcing the comb through, taking your time and just working through those tiny knots as they come up. It'll make it a lot easier to get through the entire head. Tip number 3. Okay, so for this one, this may not be as common knowledge for everyone, but make sure if you have like hang time especially, you want to hold the braid at the base of the cornrow. So as you can see here, I'm grasping it right here because like I said, we are releasing that tension. All the pain, all the tears, everything is on the scalp. They can't feel anything on the tip, okay? So make sure if you're clenching right there at that base, you're releasing that tension and all the tension now is on the tip, the part they cannot feel. So I hope that makes sense. So keep that in mind next time you're taking cornrows out. If they feel like you're yanking or pulling and mommy stop, and we know how all that goes, right? So try that next time by holding your finger right there at the base and watch and see if they don't flinch as much while they're watching their shows and eating their snacks. All right, so number 4, and I do see this a lot, especially when I have clients come to me who just had braids taken out. You'll notice at the very top of the cornrow, basically where the cornrow starts, it's still braided just a smidge. Don't give up, girl, okay? We almost there. Take the braid out all the way to the tippy top. It makes a world of difference, especially when it's time to comb everything out, get those tangles out. Having that base or the top of that cornrow still kind of braided, even if it's just a little bit, it can make all the difference if you just make sure you're going all the way to the top, unraveling it as best as you can and getting all those tangles out before combing it. So for my next tip, once again, we're focusing on the scalp. That's what this entire video is about. Releasing the tension on the scalp, easing the pain on our little baby's little scalp. So another thing that I do typically is as I'm taking the braid out, I am massaging her scalp. So just in case there was any little, pain pulling, any tension, anything that she was feeling or getting agitated, or you know how they get. So if you start to massage it, you'll start to see her ease up a bit. Just think about as if it's you in that chair. You know how it is if somebody's pulling and tugging on your hair, or if you're getting your hair like washed at your hairdresser and they start to massage the scalp, like how good that feels. So kind of put yourself in their little shoes, and they're 1,000 times younger than us. So they definitely can't handle as much as we can. So just take that into consideration and really try to just massage the scalp as we take each braid out. And don't forget to massage those edges. That is one of the most sensitive parts on all of our scalps. Right around the edges, you always know is a little bit more sensitive, may have bumps, or maybe your edges are coming out. Like, you just know how the edges are the most sensitive areas. So don't forget to massage that area as well. Also, if you didn't know this, massaging the scalp can also promote hair growth because you're getting the blood flowing. So the more you massage their scalp, even if you just want to do this on a daily basis, another little tip, it really does like promote the blood circulating, blood flowing, and it encourages your hair to grow like at the roots and everything. So that's another good reason to make sure you're massaging on top of, you know, easing the pain on our little ones. All right, so for tip number 6, and this should just go without saying, but I'm still gonna say it just in case you didn't know. Definitely comb out each cornrow as you unravel them. So as you're taking the braids out, make sure you are fully combing it through with no tangles. This will save you a lot of headache when we get to the end and all the hair is out and we got our big fro, time to wash it. Go ahead, and the more you comb it as you go, the easier it is, the less tangles, the less tears, and it just makes life so much easier with taking these braids out. Okay, so for tip number 7, and this is one of my favorites personally, and I don't know if a lot of people realize it, but as you are taking the braid out, especially if this is like a longer braid or if it wraps around as it does in this video, you want to start unraveling the braid, and as you unravel one section, pull that hair down and separate it from the rest of the cornrow. So as you can see, I'm unraveling, and I'm separating that hair, letting it rest. Once again, releasing tension. Because if you just keep unraveling, now that hair is getting matted, it's getting tangled up, baby's uncomfortable, they're screaming, you're crying, she's crying. Like, it's just a lot all at once. So as you are unraveling, start to separate that hair you just unraveled, lay it flat, and then make sure you're pulling your fingers all the way through as you're unraveling as well. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm doing like sign language here. But you just want to like unravel, pull your fingers through, we're detangling and letting it rest. So that way we're not pulling from the rest of the braid as we're going up. So hopefully that tip makes sense. Hopefully this video, like you watching it, it makes a little bit more sense than me explaining it, but it really does make the world of difference. And when it's time to comb all of that section out, it'll be a lot easier because you've already started separating it as you go. So this is not really a tip, but I guess it kind of is. Nothing so much to do with the hair, but more so with keeping baby, toddler calm. If they start to get a little agitated or they're yanking or pulling away or want to stand up or whatever, let them. It's so much easier if you just let them have it. I personally just stop and I don't say anything. I don't do anything. When she does that, I'll just stop, give her second. And if she like realizes, oh, mommy's not touching me right now, nothing hurts, she kind of sits back, then I easily kind of go back. I might massage it first. You just want to like let her know and kind of build that trust with her that I'm not here to hurt you, or I'm trying not to at least. And I'm gonna give you your second to breathe, just like we as adults, when we get frustrated, we just need our little second. So give her second, let her get back into watching her show, eating snacks, whatever your distraction is, and then easily, you know, go back into taking that braid out. And our last and final tip, so tip number 9, as you are done taking all the braids out, make sure you are using a wide tooth comb to comb all the hair out, get all those last minute tangles out. Make sure you're combing around all the edges, around her perimeter. Just want to make sure there's no last minute tangles, and watch how much easier it is when it's time to wash the hair. It'll be so much easier. The comb will go through nicely, especially when you add the water and the shampoo, conditioner. It'll just be a lot easier, a smooth sailing, and baby's happy, you're happy. It's a win-win for everybody. All right, so that wraps up this video. I am so grateful for you guys tuning in. I hope this has been super helpful for you. I'm a first-time mama and I'm African American, so I've never dealt with like the mixed hair because my husband is Trinidadian, so my baby girl is mixed. So having these different textures, I'm learning as I go. I've always been like a little hair person, but learning this new texture has been fun to say the least. So hopefully these tips and tricks help you as well along the way, make hair day a little bit easier and smoother with your little one. And if you enjoyed this, let me know what your favorite tip was. Was there something new that you learned? Or was there something that you do all the time and you're like, yes, sis, thank you for telling all the other moms because this works for me too. So thank you guys for watching, and please stay tuned for more tips and tricks on Mommy Hair Care Day. Thanks guys, bye. They're all done. Can you say bye-bye? Can you wave?